Hello everyone, today we're in London and we're diving into the rich and mysterious past of St Pancras Old Church and its unusual churchyard. This hidden gem in the heart of London is a treasure trove of stories and legends. St Pancras Old Church is one of the oldest places of worship in England, with its roots dating back to 314 AD. A vicar of the church claimed to have seen a document in the Vatican Library that placed the foundation to the 4th century during the Roman period. Medieval features inside the building and references in the Domesday Book kind of suggest that the church was also in use during the Anglo-Saxon period. The building served the large ancient parish of St Pancras, which at the time spanned from just a couple of clicks north of Oxford Street all the way up to Highgate. The church has stood here through good times and bad. It was ruinous in the 13th century, rebuilt in the 14th century, half abandoned in the 16th century, restored in the 17th century, and again substantially rebuilt in the mid of the 19th century, where the 13th century West Tower was dismantled and the new Bell Tower was rebuilt. Little remains of the original medieval church, but in the north wall of the nave there is exposed a section of Norman masonry. Is at the side that in the north section of the nave you can see exposed the Norman part of the wall. It's painted over, but you can see it. It's in the mid-800s that the parish became again the centre of the local community, with the growth of London booming and people flocking over to London to help with the construction of the Regent's Canal in the 1820s, the Imperial Company Gasworks in 1822, and the railway from 1830 onwards. Now, for such a large parish, the churchyard is considerably small, and there is a reason for it. Let's go back to the 1800s. The churchyard was so full that it closed in 1854, a fate shared with other cemeteries in London, and the dead of the parish were from then on to be transferred to the new facilities on the outskirts of the city. Eventually, the church closed too. The Midland Railway didn't lose any time, so in 1865 they declared their interest in the site in order to build a new Midland Railway into St Pancras Station. Here the trains, the railway is literally just beyond that wall. Thomas Hardy, the novelist, who was studying architecture at the time, was sent to monitor the place. Apparently the Home Office said it would have been okay to build tunnels underneath here, like 15 feet underground. It would be enough to pass beneath any graves. However, with so many people buried here for over 1,000 years, during which time the Green Hill had grown steadily higher, the workers complained that they were digging through rotten coffins and piles of bones, and they thought that health-wise it wasn't exactly safe. And that's probably not the only reason why they complained. Whether more worried about disease or revenge from the dishonoured dead, unclear. They look like dominoes, don't they? The churchyard reopened again in 1877 as St Pancras Gardens. The most intriguing feature here in Old St Pancras Church and Churchyard used to be the hardy tree. Why do I say used to be? Because it's no longer there. The tree actually died and it has been removed. I'm guessing that this is whatever is left of it. This is whatever is left of the tree. Yes, you see, it's got grave marks in there. This is where the stones used to be grown around the stones. The tree was named after the famous author. Hardy was tasked with exhuming graves to make the way for the railway. The gravestone is inside the tree. Look. The tree had grown through and around clusters of gravestones. You grew on top of them, and the stones were placed around the tree, created a hauntingly beautiful effect. This is what is left of it. It isn't great. Hardy does talk about his experiences here at that time in his books. Whether Hardy planted a tree or not, we don't know. But there is a very interesting legend around this tree, and it's not something that is widely known. I found the story about the Hardy tree on Portals of London, which is a website. It makes a very ghostly tale. The story is very interesting because when I was looking online, I was looking for ghost stories about this place, and there isn't any, which is very strange because, yeah, come on, it's a churchyard, you got to have some ghost stories, right? I kind of expect it to be a very busy place for spirits, especially in a place where the graves have been dug up. John Tweed was the vicar here, and he said that the place was absolutely crawling with spirits. This was due to the unearthing of the bones to make room for the railway right behind me. To say that there were a lot of spirits meandering during the day and night on these very grounds, until one day he saw that the gravestones were being moved a little bit at a time. Some of them actually disappeared, easily been done by a human being, by humans. But he said that you could see all the trails on the ground leading to the spot there with the tree at the base. He didn't know who arranged the graves in that fashion. It was very unusual. To him, it felt like the headstones were crawling, or they were being taken towards the tree, which is strange, and that kind of made him think that it was a portal to hell. Whatever the vicar did, the disturbances ended, and no spirits have been seen on these grounds since. And our final stop here in St Pancras Churchyard is Mary Wollstonecraft's Godwin's grave. The first thing that my daughter told me when I told her that we were going to visit Mary Wollstonecraft's grave, and she's right next to it, was that Mary Shelley and Percy Bysshe Shelley, before eloping to Europe, they consummated the relationship on a very grave. Whether that is true or not, we don't know, but I looked online, and apparently that is something that teachers and professors do tell the students nowadays. Mary Wollstonecraft was a pioneering advocate for women's rights, and her contribution to literature and feminism were monumental. Her old family resting place here at St Pancras is a poignant reminder of her legacy. Godwins aren't here anymore. Their bodies have been moved over to Bournemouth in the Shelley's family tomb. So, walking through these grounds, you can't help but feel a connection to the countless souls who have passed over here over the centuries, and some of them were still underneath our feet. Interesting. They haven't been dug up, so they must be still here somewhere. Yeah. I mean, this is a hill. You know, this hill built on buttons. That is actually the second one we visit here in London. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give us a thumb up, and I shall see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.